Hi guys, I think it's a bit early for Fool of the Week, but former Health Secretary Victoria Atkins would certainly make the grade. So during a Health Questions and Answers in the House of Commons on Tuesday, Atkins tried to go on a long-winded rant about the new government, which resulted in the Speaker, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, having to intervene a number of times to get her to hurry the F up. Then Victoria attacked a healthcare provision which the current Secretary of State had a perfect response to. A farce. Have a listen to this.
So after 14 years of opposition, 2.5 years of which he's been sitting on these benches, travelling around the world, funded by other governments to look at their healthcare systems, and over 100 days in this government, he doesn't even know the start date of his own flagship policy. He's no action man, Mr. Speaker, he's anchor man. But let's deal with Labour's cruel decision. After Labour's cruel decision to slash winter fuel payments, which will add pressure not only to patients but also to the NHS. The NHS's Deputy Operating Officer.
Please, I've got a lot of people to get in. You've got to be short from both front benches. Victoria.
After Labour's cruel decision to slash winter fuel payments, which will add pressure to the NHS's Deputy Operating Officer has warned that this winter our health service won't have the extra capacity or funding needed and which had been provided previously by the Conservatives. Why has the Secretary of State...
No! Please. I did give you a hint to come to an end, not to carry on fully. That is... No, it's not fair. It's unfair to both of the backbenches that I'm trying to represent. I want a short answer back.
Mr. Speaker, she questions the budget for this winter. It was a budget set by her government. So is this finally an admission of failure on the part of the Shadow Secretary of State? And I'll tell her something else we'll have this winter that we didn't have last winter or the winter before, and that's no...
Little McAvoy!
Okay, he was cut off. I don't know if it was whether it was by the Speaker or what, but Wes Streeting was cut off. So, once again, what an absolute charade. This isn't PMQs, this is just Parliament in general, but what a charade it has become. This is the second time that Victoria Atkins has been called out in a very short space of time by the Speaker of the House. You know, once again, her shenanigans need to be called out. The response, of course, was perfect. Your government was responsible for setting the budget. Did you set a sufficient budget for to deal with the winter crisis in the NHS? Of course not. So you can't turn around now and criticise the new government. Now, it is important that because of the winter fuel allowance reform or cut or whatever you want to call it, there's a possibility that maybe some pensioners will refuse to put on their heating and this could result in them turning up in A&E. But this is separate to the budget itself. Is the budget sufficient to deal with the winter crisis in the NHS in general? No, it's not, because there's always a crisis and there's always a lack of funding. So while the Conservatives may point the finger and say, why aren't you fixing this? They're part of the problem. They created this crisis in the first place when it comes to funding for the NHS. They've been underfunding the NHS for every year they've been in power. It needs a dramatic increase in funding. But it's good that she's called out on this, and it's good that at least the Speaker is telling her to hurry up instead of wasting time. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.